Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the All Signs Daily Forecast for everyone, basically. It is a broad spectrum reading. It's spoken in broad terms, so you need to figure out where it fits. It is created originally for Wednesday, the 25th of August, but it's not solely set for that date. If you're seeing it on a different date, I would take the message rather than the date. Please check out the drop-down menu below the daily forecast, and there is information about what I want you to think about when utilizing my readings, what decks I use, how to contact me on social media. If you also want to book a private reading, my PayPal link is in there, or if you want to just send me a tip for a reading that you enjoyed, you're more than welcome to do that. Other than that, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the reading. That's a great way to show support. Leave a question or comment on the video. I will read them all. I do hit the like button on them so that you know that I've read them. And share the video out with friends, either on your social media or in your groups, wherever. Help me get the word out about the channel. And what else? What's the other thing? Oh, subscribe to the channel if you're new to me. Hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I go live. It's usually on Sundays. And that's about it. So let's see what's going on in the cards today. So we get the Nine of Wands. He looks a little interesting. He doesn't look very happy in the Nine of Wands. Nines are about personal completions, coming to an ending around something, right? Sort of reaching that ending. He looks like he's been through it, this cat, unfortunately. He looks a little beleaguered. He looks tired. He looks weathered. The Nine of Wands is sort of having learned a lesson through sort of a hard experience, right? Usually this is depicted by a gentleman with a bandage on his head, and he's standing sort of by, like, I think he's carrying the last wand that he needs to place in sort of like a fence or a boundary that he has around him. These sort of wands laying this way. It's interesting because is there 9 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only see 7. I'm not exactly sure where the other 2 are. But it's interesting because these wands sort of give me that 7 of Wands vibe where they're pointed at him, right? Or they feel like a ladder that he still needs to climb, an endeavor he still needs to take on, which also gives me 10 of Wands vibes. But all of the tumultuous water, cats don't like water. It's usually an unpleasant experience that we're maybe in, that we're going through, that has sort of taught us something in some way, made us wiser through the sort of the suffering or the struggle that has gone on, right? So what I would say about this is if we are struggling or suffering with, say, a situation, or we have been working our way through something, the Nine of Wands indicates that through that hardship, we hopefully have learned something. We hopefully have become wiser. We have learned from sort of maybe the pain, the sadness, the struggle, the work involved. We've either learned something more about, say, the situation, ourselves. There's something that's being given to us from this experience, even though this experience may have been hard on us, right? Because that's sort of this wet, beleaguered cat. It is still that sort of coming to an end, and it's interesting that we had the Justice card yesterday, which is sort of about truth coming out, or like sort of realizations, balance being restored. We might be with the restoration of that balance, or if we're feeling that balance being restored within us, we may have to look at some of this Nine of Wands energy in the sense that we have to look at maybe the hard road that we've walked through this situation, right? Maybe now that the truth's out, we can breathe a little bit and sort of heal our wounds. That would also be sort of a Nine of Wands energy, where we can then maybe focus on ourselves, what we've been through, what we've learned, process all of that, and begin to move away, right? Begin to be done with it. That would be the 9 energy in this card. To me, though, the wands being in that position sideways like that, pointed at the cat, it feels like a ladder, like we're not done yet. I don't know why that is, but it feels to me, and that's not necessarily a Nine of Wands meaning. I just get that from this particular card. I feel like that's a ladder inviting us to continue to climb, even though the climb may have been arduous or hard for us thus far. We're still not done yet. It's going to get smoother or easier. That's like the waves at the bottom, but then the smoother seas, but it's not going to be perfect is the feeling that I'm getting. And yes, he's a little frazzled. He's a little tired. So if there's some of my viewers out there that are feeling frazzled or tired, go with that. That's it's okay to feel that way. We're only human, right? This cat is maybe calling that out. Underneath this, we have that Ace of Wands energy, right? Which should be new doors opening up to us. But we also are at Wednesday, which bleeds us into that Empress card underneath this, right? And so we have the Empress, and yesterday's card was Justice. So there's some strong female empowered truth, creativity energy kind of working around whatever this is for us. And I think some of that truth that is in Justice, and then the creativity, the rebirth, the nurturing that comes from the Empress is also underneath this, right? So there's some sort of maybe a coming to terms with a situation, and the situation hasn't been great. Let's just be honest. The Nine of Wands is not about, a rosy walk in the park. It's about having been to war and come back to tell the tale about it, so to speak, right? But ultimately, we're, again, back to that idea of being wiser, smarter, and that's sort of the gift that Justice would be giving us, right? Is that wisdom or that air energy, that realization and that understanding, that that intelligence of knowing a little bit more, maybe whether it's about the situation, our adversary, or ourselves. We've learned through the struggle, right? So now it's about time to, I feel like, close the door or begin to close the door on the struggle. Look to how we best care for ourselves, how we best assimilate the struggle that we've been involved in, and how do we sort of change that or move away from that would be my question there. So in our card today, we have the sacral chakra, which is chakra number 2, associated with the color orange, right? It's right below our navel. This is or I think it's like right around our navel, actually. But anyways, regardless, the second chakra is where we house our dreams, our sensuality, our sexuality, and our emotions. So some of you could very much be going through it, especially with this Nine of Wands card and this sacral chakra card showing up today. What I feel like these chakra cards are about is like pay special attention to this area today as we walk through maybe the trials and tribulations that we've been through, the memories, the realizations, as we're like sort of healing ourselves or caring for ourselves, or maybe, let's just use a sort of metaphor here, as we're like sort of regrooming this cat, like bringing us back to normal or bringing us back to a state of grace, to a state of stability. Pay extra attention to our dreams, pay extra attention to where we're at emotionally, pay extra attention to caring for ourselves, being good to ourselves, being kind to ourselves at a very deep, sort of almost physical level. If there's an opportunity to sort of take care of the body, and that would be like the sensuality of the second chakra to me. It doesn't necessarily have to be. Sensuality can be a sensual, sort of sexual in meaning, but it doesn't have to be. Sensual can also be like, I'm using more of the terminology of like, how do we feed our body? How do we care for our body? Like, is it a warm bath? Is it a massage? Is it feeding our body the right foods today? Right? We're talking about the lower chakras here. So it's about a more physical experience. Also, there's the emotional aspect to this too. But when we heal that sort of physical and that emotional, we kind of, set up the stage for the chakras to kind of realign and feel better all the way up the ladder. And again, there is a ladder, right? So what I'm saying is like, check in with your emotions today. Clock your emotions in your dreams. Pay special attention to them. Where are they at? How are they feeling? How can we better them? How can we care for them? How can we nurture them? That's the Empress energy underneath this. She's the mother, giver, goddess, nurturer. She's going to heal whatever's going on, right? Our dreams may tell us this. Our emotions may tell us this today. Our physical needs may tell us, and that's sort of the senses, or in the word sensuality, right? So how do we care for ourselves at a very physical and emotional level today is kind of where I feel like this chakra card is taking us and reminding us too. It's interesting, we have this orange color which is associated with the chakra, which is energy. So we might need to build up our energy. We might feel rather low energy, but it's kind of drawing this sort of interesting parallel to the poppies down here and the yellow daffodils, which to me are about new life and beauty and rebirth. And that also is very much Empress energy. So we may not be there yet, right? We might still be feeling like we're not in the full-on thick of it, but we've just come out of the thick of it. And it's time to almost, I want to say like reconfigure and find a way to sort of assimilate, process, and care for ourselves in a very profound way today. That Empress is going to show you how. We almost need to be our own Empress in a way, right? And find that care, that nurturing for ourselves. If we don't do it for ourselves, who else will? Here is the grounding stone for the day. And this is a beautiful stone to go with this reading. Ground in the idea of honor, honoring our body, honoring our spirit, honoring our experiences, even though they may have been negative, bad, a struggle, whatever this Nine of Wands is for you, which is maybe, it's certainly not maybe an easy past, right? It is ultimately moving towards the past. Now it's about how do we honor ourselves, the situation, those involved in the situation. The best way to do that, in my feeling, is to take care of ourselves right now, emotionally and physically, through this second chakra, through the healing of this chakra. Place your hands on your lower belly, right above your waist, right around your navel, right? And just kind of send a little bit of love to that area. Be conscious of that area. Draw your attention to that area. Ask that area what you need physically right now, what do you need emotionally, and see what answers you get. If you need to have a good cry, I feel like this cat needs a good cry. If you need to have a good cry, go right ahead. You're allowed. You're totally allowed today. That Empress will help to heal you through those feelings, through that nurturing. Remember, she's very earthy. She's going, and that's also that sort of sacral chakra connection of the emotions in the body, okay? That is your forecast for the day. I hope you guys understand it. I hope it relates. If it does, please leave me a question or comment. Hit that thumbs up button, please. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Take beautiful care of yourself today. Honor yourself, both physically, emotionally, all aspects if you can. And understand that everything that we go through serves a purpose, okay? And thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel and share this video out with anybody that you think may use it. And I will see you guys tomorrow to see how this energy builds. All right, have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.